who are providers of ICT so as to protect our children. The laws he's reading were enacted in this parliament by him and myself. Tell us what you're doing with the persons and organizations who are providing this service.
Senator Khalwale, your intervention is noted. Honorable Sears, kindly get to the gist of it. I think the response is very extensive in terms of citing the statutory provisions. I think the mover of the question wants to know why we continue having issues regardless of what you're citing in terms of the regulations and the law. Maybe you want to move quickly to explaining what is being done so that members can also ask the subsidiary questions. Thank you.
Indeed, Madam Speaker, I am trying very much to answer the questions as asked. I was not only citing the law itself, which I'm aware, and I was struggling with the first question, which was asking what laws. I explained the laws themselves, the regulations, and the amendments that we have done, and what it is that we have. I may just run to, I may avoid that part. Allow me to proceed. On the operational progress and the empirical code, Madam Chair, Madam Speaker, I now turn to the Honourable Senator's second question, which is what operational progress has been made. I wish to take the unusual, but I believe necessary step of laying before this House the empirical record of regulatory enforcement during the period under review. Because the proof of any framework lies not in its statutes, but in its conduct. Honourable Senators, between February 2025 and April 2026, the Media Council of Kenya took 31 recorded enforcement actions in matters touching the protection of children. Of these 31 actions, 19, approximately 61% of the total, concerned gambling and lottery promotions, or published in breach of disclosure, age restriction, gambling license display, or watershed requirements. 8 actions concern sexual, vulgar, or otherwise age-inappropriate content broadcast during the watershed period and disseminated onward via social media. 4 actions concern the identification of minors who were victims of social violence or other sensitive matters in news reporting. And 4 other actions concerned other matters affecting children, including the publication of suicide scene images, images of deceased persons made accessible to minors, and the broadcasting of live protests during the watershed period. Madam Speaker, I draw 3 observations to the attention of this House. First, the fact that gambling-related actions account for some 61% of the recorded enforcement directly evidence both in the scale of the gambling exposure risk to which the Honourable Senator's question refers, and the active regulatory response to it. Secondly, the second largest category, sexual content broadcast during the watershed and disseminated onward via social medias. This confirms the convergence of broadcast and online distribution channels and the need for platform agnostic enforcement. Thirdly, the recurrence of certain media house cross-multiple actions has informed the Council's decision to escalate from individual case responses to systematic measures, including mandatory training and legislative amendments, which I shall describe shortly. Madam Speaker, the national KSAT reporting channels and intake. On reporting mechanisms, the National Kenya Computer Incident Response Team Coordination Center operates multiple channels: email, the mobile application, telephone, written responses, and physical visits. Childline Kenya operates a child helpline 116, a 24-hour line. The National Center operates a digital forensic capability that supports the investigation and prosecution of cybercrimes, including online child sexual exploitation and abuse. Madam Speaker, on intake, in the first quarter of the financial year 2025-26, the National Center recorded 8 reports of child abuse. And in the second quarter...
Honorable CS, allow me to guide, let the members note the detail of your report. I realize the timing for the question is coming to an end, so you might want to summarize a bit more and just refer the members to the
Madam
relevant
Speaker,
paragraphs.
yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the guidance. I have offered, both in print and soft copy, my executive summary of what I have been trying to capture, which I was in page 8 or 15. So you may note, senators, that honourable senators, that the Office of Data... You
probably want to say something on the third and the fourth questions. I think the response to the second question is quite comprehensive.
Yes.
And I think members can read the detail for themselves. You probably want to say something about the third and the fourth question.
I've guided, Madam Speaker. Honourable senators, on the issue of assessment of minors' exposure, the Honourable Senator has asked whether the ministry has, in the last 5 years, undertaken an assessment. I must be candid with this House. The ministry has not, in the last 5 years, commissioned a single dedicated published national assessment covering all 4 vectors raised by the Honourable Senator. I acknowledge this gap, and I do not seek to minimize it. The Communications Authority of Kenya has accordingly commissioned the University of Nairobi to undertake the National Security on Child Online Protection and Safety in Kenya. In the interim, however, the ministry does not come before this House empty-handed. The evidence available drawn from the State of the Media 2025 survey, that report of the Media Council of Kenya, from the Distracting Harm in Kenya study of 2022, the National KSAT quarterly report, and from the Compliance Engagement of Office of the Data Protection Commissioner. The State of Media 2012 survey report documents all these issues, Madam Speaker, and they are available in our detailed response, which is 40 pages, I think. Madam Speaker, this is the finding I commend most particularly to this House. 63% of Kenyans are unable to identify content generated by artificial intelligence. 63% of our children are interacting principally with digital mobile-first, algorithmic curated platforms with a limited editorial oversight against a population baseline that is not equipped to identify manipulated synthetic media.